Hi everyone and welcome to Valley Crafty Corner. I'm doing a scrapbook process today and I'm using the front row kit from Studio Calico for February, and I'm using a 5x5 picture that I printed out at home just because I wanted to do a little bit of a different page, so I'm not using a 4x6. That kind of like blue check kind of weird pattern is a Studio Calico basic gray for Studio Calico, and that blue dot piece is from the Pebbles Seen and Noted collection, and those are both from the kit. And this washi tape is also from the kit, and it's got that ombre effect to it. And I just flipped it around so that the green was in towards the blue. Rather it being like the blue against the blue, I just thought the green would fall a little better behind the blue paper. And I just ripped the bottom edge of that blue paper just to kind of match the washi tape. And here I'm just going through some embellishments that were in the kit, and these are some arrows that were in the kit from Studio Calico, and I think it's from one of their new releases. And I'm going through this ribbon, and I thought about maybe kind of like doing some stitching and doing like kind of a ruffled effect. But I wanted to keep this layout very kind of light on the embellishment. I wanted, and you'll see in a moment here, I want to focus mostly on my journaling. My journaling is going to be the main focus of this whole page. And I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, some of the embellishments that I'm using here are printables from Studio Calico. It's their digital files, and I print them out on my Studio Calico, or on my Silhouette, sorry. And it's just a print and cut option. I'll just make it fit on an 8.5 by 11 piece paper, print it out, and then use the cut feature, and they cut out pretty awesome. And so I'm just layering some of those die cut pieces that I had done myself, and that one little circle piece is actually that like one that came in the kit. So here I'm just kind of ruffling through and seeing if there's any more embellishments that I want to use. But I kind of like how this particular piece, this particular embellishment looks. And I'm just going to take a photo of it just so that I don't forget how I had the layering. And just to make sure I had it all right. So then I decided to take it off. And I'm just going through the layering right now. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to kind of explain this particular layout. This is a very personal layout, and I've wanted to do this for quite some time. I don't find I do a lot of layouts about myself or about my own personal beliefs or anything like that, but I went through a very challenging time in July. I was diagnosed with pre-cervical cancer, and it was the first initial reaction that I'm documenting here on how I felt about being diagnosed, and learning to deal with that sort of first initial reaction, and how it kind of affected us as a family. And so that's why I really wanted to focus more or less on the journaling. So I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to get this down before I forgot. When I first found out about it, I took actually a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I wasn't going to originally add a photo to this, but it was just really messy just because I was so emotionally wrapped up at that time. And because this was back in July, now that it is February, and I've actually sat down and kind of dealt with what happened, I'm taking a little bit of the emotional reaction out of it, but not too much. I'm still dealing with it, but I don't know if this is making sense to people, but it's making sense to me, and I guess that's all that matters. That I just wanted to kind of put a little bit more focus into the writing, rather than being a little bit distracted, because it was kind of here and there, just because when you're in an emotional state like that, your journaling isn't necessarily thought through, I guess. So I took another piece of that kind of like check black pattern, and I cut it on an angle, just because I was going to do a lot of journaling. I wanted to put a little bit of focus up at the top, so it drew your eye into the top so you would read the journaling that was going on. And the other thing I want to mention is what I wanted to do with this layout, and I've had this layout in mind for quite some time that I wanted to do this. I wanted to make sure that when I did my journaling, every time I wrote the word cancer, rather than writing it out, I was going to use a mini market sticker, just to highlight kind of what the journaling was going to be about. So it would draw your eye to, well, what's she talking about? There's a lot of words about that say cancer on here. So it would make you want to read the journaling rather than just looking at the layout itself. So here I'm just kind of rifling through some of my smaller letters, and just I'm looking at colors. I'm not looking at font. I'm just pulling out kind of colors that I think will work. And so here you're going to see me kind of just take a random one and just start putting the letters down. And mostly my colors were like greens and blues and grays and a little bit of a brown, just to kind of tie in with the photo, with the colors that were going on there. So you're going to see me fast forward again, because this journaling did take me quite a bit of time to go through, but I'm very happy with how well this whole layout went through. It's exactly kind of, no, I wouldn't say exactly, but it's got the feel that I wanted to get down. I think it's important for my kids to later on look at this layout and read it and discover, you know, how I felt about it, because I'm sure they felt sort of the same way as I did. Maybe not so much on a personal level, but I felt it was important for them to read later on, or even any of my family members or any of my friends to discover maybe that more about me. So anyway, here I'm adding those arrows in. And you can see at the bottom I have that little bit of a white space there, and it was kind of bothering me, and I needed to fill it up, but I wasn't 100% sure how to fill that white space up. And I kept thinking about maybe adding an arrow or adding embellishment, but I didn't really want to add embellishment. I just wanted to get my story down. So rather than worrying about it too much, I decided I was going to work on the title, and I was kind of thinking about, well, what should my title be? And the only word that I could really describe all this is stronger, because I am so much stronger now than I think I ever have been. To go through something like this, to be faced with your own mortality, and not that I was ever in a position to, you know, have my life in danger, or threatened or anything like that. But it's the word cancer that makes you kind of refocus and reevaluate what's going on in your life, and to make you realize what is important. And I feel that that has made me stronger, a stronger person, for realizing what values mean the most to me. So with that title, I wanted to add that into the bottom line of my journaling. So I just kind of went with that title, and I think the last line of my title of my journaling was, let me just pull it here. It says, whatever the results, I know in my heart that I'll be a stronger person in the end. And I feel that means a lot to me myself. So I just wanted to add that little bit back into the journaling. So again, I'm just putting the title down, and I like how it fit exactly right between the arrows and then that embellishment on the right hand side of the photo. And here I'm just coming in with some of those enamel dots that came in the kit. And I'm just using some of the little blue ones and some of the medium-sized blue ones just to add a little bit of a pop more of blue. And just cutting off that little bit of overhang. And here I wanted to add a little bit of embellishment to this top corner just because I wanted it to kind of draw your eye up, because there was a lot of heavily sticker words at the bottom of the photo, and I wanted to add a little bit more focus into the top. So there was this little piece here that said noted, which the noted is going to get cut off, but it was blue, and then this little piece that was green, that's going to get added in beside it. But when I cut this noted piece off, I still wanted to add it to somewhere on the layout, so I added it as another layer beside the photo, and I really like how that finished it off. And I've been using this Pebble date stamp ever since I got it, and I honestly love it. I wish it had more years back than up to 2012. But anyway, it's still very good date stamp. And I just inked it up with the, I think it's soft granite ink. And then I'm just kind of looking at it to see if I'm done. And I looked at these little freckled fawn and Studio Calico wood veneers, and I didn't really care for the word stickers, but I decided to use this little diamond piece to add another little wood veneer to the top. So I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to add another little enamel dot. And then we're going to take a look at some close-ups. So here is the layout. And I hope you enjoy, and my next test result is February 26th, and I hope everything goes okay, and I hope everybody's safe. Thanks. Have a great day.